Sneakers and Cleats, the podcast. Welcome back to the Sneakers and Cleats podcast. It is Thursday, July 17th, episode 212. I'm Matt Roy, Don Harris, Chuck Miketinac. What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Is that when
it's a palindrome.
When water boils or something?
Yeah, it's the boiling point in Fahrenheit.
Look at me, Mr. Science.
Well, what I was going to do is
Mad science.
Before we got to 100 and we stopped doing jersey numbers, I was going to start really nerding out and doing area codes. What's 212?
New York, I believe.
Is it?
I think
I don't know. I didn't look this one up, but I was going to start doing that because I started
213 Chicago.
210 was us. So
213,
isn't it?
L.A.
Is it? What's Chicago? 312.
My fear is that it'll really get us off the rails. So
there you go.
New York.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, you were just there. It doesn't count. You have firsthand knowledge.
I did not. They don't put them on. You don't look at landlines anymore.
I mean, still. That's true. Whenever here in San Antonio, I never give anyone like my personal number just because of my area code is 760.
Chuck
like
will get
people will think it's a spam call every time if I don't give my work number.
Chuck will get this 312 Herb Rudoy.
Chi-Town. Oh yeah,
Herb.
Good Herb. What a good man.
My fear with this is that it'll get us off the rails to start
it Herb
every
or
podcast. And
Herb was Manu
proven
Ginobili's
to be
agent.
accurate.
Herb was
Anyway,
Manu's agent.
subscribe to the YouTube channel, Both News 4 Fox. I say download, rate, review the podcast. Helps us out a lot. We're going to talk a lot of Spurs and a little bit of Cowboys today. Spurs are officially shutting down Dylan Harper after his 2-game cameo appearance in the Las Vegas Summer League. So have we seen enough? What did he look like in the 2 games? The game against Utah was really roller coaster of a game. I think there was runs by both teams of 17-zip or more in that game that ended with a Riley Minix walk-off fadeaway on the baseline. So plus David Jones-Garcia still not signed to a contract, but some interesting comments made by Mike Noyes, the Spurs Summer League head coach, after the last game. So we'll talk about that. Plus Victor Wembanyama sat down with the French newspaper L'Equipe for an in-depth one-on-one, mentioned how he sees team building and how he views how the Spurs are building their team, plus what his reflection is back on his deep vein thrombosis that knocked him out of last season. So we'll talk about that. Plus, the Dallas Cowboys start their training camp in less than, 4 days now? They get there on Sunday, so we're just a couple days away. Dak Prescott is not a top 10 quarterback, according to ESPN and their poll of GMs, coaches, and scouts. So is he not, and can he get them back to the promised land? We'll talk about that. So let's start with Dylan Harper. This is the most recent news. Dylan Harper is shut down officially for the rest of Summer League, which includes tonight and one more game, either the championship game in the Summer League or what do they? How do they do this? Semifinal game. Anyway,
or a consolation game too.
Yeah, consolation game. That's what I was thinking.
They're either playing 1 or 2 games.
So tonight they're playing Charlotte Hornets.
Con Knippel,
the 5th pick in the draft or 4th pick in the draft. Not surprising that he got shut down, Dylan Harper. But what were you guys' thoughts on him, his first 2 games, and him now being done until we get to see him in the preseason?
Well, you see I think the Spurs saw everything that they expected they were getting. His ability to get downhill is just elite. His hops defensively, he was elite. He didn't shoot it great, and he had some bad percentages. But we saw flashes of, his kid's 19 years old. He's still skinny, doesn't really have any arms on him yet, man. Chuck and I remember David Robinson and Sean Elliott coming into the league as toothpicks. When this guy gets a little more weight on him like Castle did, he's going to be his ability to get to the rim and stay under control, and his vision and his court awareness, he's exactly what we thought he was. He's the second best player in this draft and might be the best by the time we're looking at year 5. I was talking about David Chancellor about this today. You remember LeBron, Carmelo, D. Wade all came in the same class.
Bosh.
And there were times...
Darko Milicic, don't forget him.
There were times when Carmelo was the best player of that class. There were times when LeBron, most of the time. There were times when D. Wade was the best player in that class.
D-Wade should have been the MVP in 2008.
In their first 5 or 6 years. So I don't think he's as good as Cooper Flagg, but this kid, he's really good.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more, and I think under the guise of they're keeping score, they're making a big deal about these games, and they're trying to sell it on TV, they're trying to sell certain matchups, and I think the fact that the Spurs, as we sit here right now, are 3-0, so there's a little something to play for, right? You're trying to, I would think, at this point, get into the final tournament. I mean, if you're going to go there and compete, why not go ahead and try to win the thing? Having said that, it's, nobody's going to remember who won the Summer League in the summer of 2025 at the end of this, I guess, in a lot of regards.
Hang a banner, just like the Lakers did for the in-season tournament.
A lot of fans remember Becky Hammond,
but
they don't want to forget that she won the Summer League.
So with that in mind, the fact that, geez, I lost my train of thought now. You guys are spitballing on me here. But no.
You play to win the game.
True that. But I mean, no. Dylan Harper, I think for everything that we said positively about him in the first game that he played, I think there was a concerted effort to get the ball out of his hands and make his life miserable in the second game, and I don't think he responded very well. So, you would expect him to pivot and get better the more that he plays. So I would have liked to have seen him play a little bit more. I mean, they won that game the other night because their bench was so damn good. I mean, the splits on that were, obviously measurable, and Mike Noyes talked about, the two rookies that were drafted. He let them know that he didn't think that they played all that well, and I think they didn't probably need to be told that.
Yeah, I think they probably knew that. Dylan played better down the stretch, and he obviously he made the game tying shot to end regulation, and then made a 1 or 2 in overtime as well, if I remember correctly. Filipowski was the star of that game for Utah. Good Lord, he could not. But anyway,
think of where he was a year ago.
To your point about the 2003 draft, I forget how loaded it was after those 4 players, because it was obviously LeBron, Darko, Carmelo, Chris, and then Dwayne. Chris came in that draft. Kirk Heinrich in that draft. Where's the next one? David West was in that draft. Boris Diaw was in that draft.
Wow.
Kendrick Perkins, Leandro Barbosa, Josh Howard. So Luke Walton in that draft. A lot of really good players. Dwayne Wade, like I said, should have won the MVP in 2009 when he had the scoring title, but that's besides the point. I do agree with that point, though, that there's going to be a lot of who's the best player in this draft over the next 5 to 7 years, and hopefully it's Dylan, Cooper, and insert another top 5, top 10 name here with Con Knipple or VJ Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, or whoever that may be. Mike Noyes did comment on Dylan Harper's tenure with the Summer League team and how he played over the last couple of games. Let's hear from Mike Noyes.
It's hard, the position he's in. He hasn't played in months, and the expectations are high. The expectation shouldn't be high. He's right where he needs to be. And so if he focuses on defense, makes the right play for the team, his conditioning will be way better once the season comes around. He's in a tough spot right now where it's we want to get some games under our belt. But I thought the response he had was great. I thought he had his head in his hands at one point. He came out of it. He delivered down the stretch for us. He was a huge piece of this team win.
A super hot bite. What did you guys want to see from Dylan Harper coming into the Summer League, and did he match that? Did he satisfy?
See, I don't know. I guess it's because I'm so old, but I don't look at how guys play in the Summer League. I look at the player and the physical attributes and the scouting. You want to see if they know how to play, and if they're looking to make the right pass and all that. Looking to make the right play and actually making the right play are two different things. Because the game's faster, they're getting used to the speed of the NBA. Shooting, who cares? I could care less if Carter Bryant is 0 for 25 million or whatever he is.
It's close.
Who cares? Who cares? Is he 6'8", 220, whatever he is, or does he have a long wingspan? Can he jump off the ground?
Well, if that's the case, why are they playing him?
What do you mean?
If you don't care how they play on the court in Summer League, then why are they playing the games?
Because you want to see how they look athletically. I think that's what I look for. I want to see, are they big? Are they fast? Are they strong? Can Dylan Harper beat everybody that he wants to off the dribble? If he misses the layup, I don't care. But can he beat the guy off the dribble to get to the point to make the layup? And he has all of those tools. The speed, his block shot on that fast break, and Carter Bryant's block shot that was kind of, they never even showed a replay of that. He was as high as the top of the square when he blocked a shot in game 2.
Well, they both definitely showed their athleticism and how hard they try on defense.
Yeah, the motors, the left-handed in and out dribble by Dylan Harper, he gets through. He can split a double team and get into the paint anytime he wants. Now, he's 19. He's going to have to refine that, just like Steph Castle will. Once you get in there, what do you do with it? Victor's still growing. These guys are all going to grow. I'm trying to think about what this guy's going to look like when he's 23, 24, 25. And I saw enough. He didn't play great, but he looked great.
I think to Don's point is those dudes look different, right? You can look at the box score and we can split these hairs 1,000 different ways. At the end of the day, it is just summer league. And, I didn't hear Mike Noyes' comment about he's going to be in condition. Well, the guy's been basically taking tours and visiting teams and everything else. He's not where he's going to be with that. So maybe that's a reason why they're shutting him down. And that's probably the smart move. You don't want to put somebody in a situation where you're taxing him too much if they haven't built up the stamina in order to be ready for what it is they're going to face. But you can see why these guys were drafted high. I mean, they do look different than everybody else on the floor, and you got to like their base at this point. I don't think there's any question about that. I think that's a big takeaway from this summer so far.
Conversely, David Jones-Garcia plays well.
Thank you for segueing for me. I was just about to get to him.
He plays like a guy who's been in the league or the G League or two-way, had a cup of coffee in the league, and is used to the speed, is used to the game, and doesn't look anything athletically like the other two, like as a prospect.
Like talent-wise.
Right. So what you're hoping is that the Harpers and the Bryants learn to eventually play with the confidence and the skill set.
That DJ is.
Yeah.
To that point, and correct me if I'm wrong, Carter Bryant is not shut down, correct? That is, he is going to continue to play.
Yes.
As far as DJG goes, David Jones-Garcia, he continued to impress again. I'm not going to say DJG again because I'm going to mess it up.
I like that. We were talking about this earlier. Is like he's already evolved to the point where we can just start calling him DJG. Like,
exactly.
This dude's been playing with some serious swag.
I mean, he had another 28 points against Utah in the overtime win there. Coach Noyes kind of alluded to him getting a deal after the game, too. Let's hear from Coach.
I have not watched much Summer League outside of the teams we've played. To me, he's the best player in Summer League. He has been phenomenal. What he brings off the bench now, I mean, he took a backseat, but he had no problem with it. He said, I'll do whatever's best for the team. And whatever contract he gets coming out of Summer League, he deserves every penny of it. He's been terrific.
So 2 things in that soundbite. One, I think you don't need to watch all of every game in Summer League to know that DJG has been the best player, if not one of the 3 best players in Summer League. I mean, he has filled up the stat sheet.
Who's been better? Anybody?
No,
Collier from Utah has been pretty good.
No one off the top of my head. Filipowski's been really good, but no one off the top of my head has been head and shoulders above him.
Correct. I don't know how you could be.
Yeah, honestly. He's averaging like 26 points per game in Summer League. But anyway, the other thing was whatever contract he gets after he deserves it. Does that make you think, A, that he is already having talks with the Spurs, or B, the Spurs are willing to let him go?
I talked to
both.
I talked to scouts.
That's what I'm saying. Which one do you lean?
I don't know. I talked to scouts from 2 different teams. Both said the exact same thing. He will get a fully guaranteed deal with an NBA team, non-two-way. He's going to be on somebody's roster. I don't know if the Spurs have that in mind for him because they signed McLaughlin a week ago, which to me is mind-boggling. That why
$3.4 million for 1 year.
Why not wait? Because what if they now change their mind and they wanted this guy over McLaughlin. Anyway, I
You
don't
still
know.
have room on the roster. I mean, you have 15 spots. So
Yeah.
you can still sign him to a fully guaranteed
if you
contract.
want another
It's fine.
guard.
Yeah.
But he's going to play in the NBA.
McLaughlin's not going to play regardless. Regardless. Get it?
But he's going to.
Sorry.
He's earned himself an NBA job.
Do you think that that job is with the Spurs?
I don't know. I have no idea where their brain's at.
Chuck?
Yep, no clue either. I just know that I'd want that guy on my team just based on the small sample size. I mean, what he's doing shooting the ball is ridiculous. But the game looks easy for him, and he's not only scoring, I mean, he's assisting, he's stealing the ball, he's rebounding the ball, which they need from some of their guards. And, you know, you take that game the other night, so this guy, as well as he's played, he's been the freaking hammer for this squad in the first two games out in Vegas. They send him to the bench. They're getting their ass kicked. They bring him in. Boom, they're right back in the game. They sit him down. They get their ass kicked again. Boom, they put him back in the game.
I think they were 14-0 and 17-0 runs.
Yeah. And, you know, I shouldn't just single him out because, you know, Dexter Dennis, there were other guys that helped obviously get the train back on the tracks, but they found a couple of guys in here. I shouldn't say they found. I mean, well, they've allowed guys to go out and flourish, and given the opportunity, I think there are a couple of guys on this roster that they don't end up here. They're going to end up on somebody with a two-way contract, I would think.
The kid's it's instant offense. I mean, he just comes in and he is going to light it up, at least in the summer
He's
league.
got 150 minutes played, 141 points,
Is that good? Seems good.
64% from three.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
He's earned himself a contract, and I hope it's
100.
with the Spurs because they need whether it's on the court in a real game or not, which it likely wouldn't be because you have so many people ahead of him on the depth chart. You still need that kind of presence in practice. You still need that kind of semblance on a scout team, just like in a practice squad player in the NFL. You need somebody who can replicate a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen or something like that as a quarterback, so you keep one on your practice squad. It's the same kind of thing. You need someone who can try and replicate some of these concepts in practice that NBA teams do, and having DJG on your team can do nothing but help you.
They want a floor spacer who can knock down threes. So when the Harper collapses, Castle collapses the defense, Wemby gets double teamed, that you can pass out of it and have a guy who can knock down a three. All they've had is Julian Champagnie. The other guys, Devin, Keldon, Sohan, and the rest, now they have Fox. He can shoot it. But they need a guy, and if that's all he did, he's proven that he can do that.
Yep. Among the other guys, how encouraged are you by the young guys during the summer league? I mean, obviously the Spurs are 4-2, 3-0 in the summer in the Vegas Summer League. I think 1-2 in the California Summer League. So they're 4-2 overall. How encouraged have you been overall by the youth of the Spurs during the Summer League, Chuck?
Yeah, I think very. I mean, this looks like a complete team. I mean, we even talked about Minix and I mean the degree of difficulty on that shot the other night. So his ability to shoot. But again, I mean, there are several guys on this team that look like they can play basketball, and kudos to this entire coaching staff too. It's easy to watch. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of, head down, drive to the basket. There's an effort to move the ball, play team defense, play hard while you're out there. It looks like even in a short period of time, these guys all appear to like each other, are pulling for each other to try to get contracts. And, they didn't have the top pick in the draft, Dylan Harper, for most of this summer run. And I think even without him, I mean, they're still going to have a legitimate chance. They beat Charlotte tonight to, maybe play some more basketball this summer.
Hang the banner.
I'm watching four guys, the two draft picks, Garcia and Minix, and then the rest of them have fun in Austin.
All right, let's talk about Wemby here. Wemby talked to L'Equipe and Oban last week, or earlier this week, out in Vegas during the Summer League. And he had a lot of interesting things to say. This is really the first time that we've heard from Wemby since the injury happened in a full kind of interview setting.
In a more relaxed setting.
Yeah, right.
Remember, he met with the media here in San Antonio, sat at a table like this, and was very guarded. Mm-hmm. He wasn't as guarded with
Did not give a lot of answers
Correct.
in that interview. So first and foremost, He said he's ready for basketball activity, which is encouraging. We mentioned that on Monday. Secondly, he talked about his time in China this offseason, learning Diet Coke creeping up on you, practicing with the monks and practicing kung fu and practicing meditation. He said a lot of things about the meditation kind of helping him put the injury and everything into perspective and telling him that there's no time to waste, and including the intentionality of using every second that you have in a way that can help you. He said, quote, "But meditation helped me understand more that we don't have our whole lives to do things." Now, you would think that means let's hurry this crap up. Let's go in right now. But he went on to say more that he believes in how the Spurs are building their culture. When you guys hear that, what do you think it's more contradictory, or more you really have to think about how the Spurs are building things and how Wemby is seeing things in order to really fully grasp the entire picture of how this team building is going? Don, I'll start with you.
I think there has been this misnomer on social media, because Wemby had a soundbite one time where he says, somebody may even asked him, "Do you want to win now? Are you ready to win now?" And he said, "Of course, I want to win now." Well, everybody wants to win now. But that's different from going out and getting Giannis Antetokounmpo or Kevin Durant or whatever. Wemby has always been in lockstep with the Spurs in whether they convinced him, whether he needed convincing, I don't know. But he's always been in lockstep with them about, this is our process. This is how we're going to do it. It starts with you. We got Castle. We got Harper. Oklahoma City is a model to look at. And we're on our way. He made a comment that he was clearly said that.
I got it right here.
Okay.
He said, quote, "Breaking your entire core for a single player rarely works. And the Spurs are still masters at building teams without having to go after too many big players or having to sacrifice squad balance."
So it almost worked in Oklahoma City with Durant, Harden, and Westbrook, but they lost in the finals.
To the Heat.
Those guys go to Houston. It doesn't work with Harden and them there. Doesn't work with KD in Brooklyn. Doesn't work with Beal, KD, and Booker in Phoenix.
There seems to be a common denominator among all those teams, but go on.
Yeah. James Harden.
No, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and James Harden. James Harden, Chris Paul, and who else was in Houston?
Clint Capella.
No, it was Harden, Paul,
Chandler Parsons.
Westbrook was the third in Houston. That didn't work. So he's right, And now it's Beal, Kawhi, and
and Harden.
That's not going to work either.
At least Beal's only making like $11 million there.
So he's on board. So I think that whole thing was a misnomer, that he wanted to win now. Of course he wants to win now, but it doesn't mean you blow everything up.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, right? When Don and I were kids, it was you needed 2, maybe 3 star players to win championships. I'm just not so sure that that's the case anymore.
I mean, even Michael Jordan needed a Scottie Pippen. That
was back when we were growing up.
Right.
I mean, when we were coming through this, it was, Detroit had good players, Spurs had good players when they were winning.
You could still argue that you need 2 now because Jalen Williams and SGA, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Well, those guys are now
Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Like, you could argue that you still need 2.
Right, but we're going to look at those guys differently now because SGA and that crew, because now they've won a title. So those guys, their value, their worth, everything skyrockets because of what they just achieved.
I'd argue that the only team that didn't have at least 2 budding superstars or glorified superstars was Giannis's Bucks. I mean, Chris Middleton wasn't a superstar. Chris Middleton was a very, very good player in that year, and he got really hot in the playoffs. But he was never a superstar. Like that Bucks team was just one guy.
They had Drew Holiday on that team too.
Yeah, but that's still not a superstar. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's a very good role player.
Right. Well, I mean, these guys are
potential Hall of Famer.
Pretty good.
He probably is a Hall of Famer, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer like Manu was, not like Giannis is.
Right. Doug Collins, the great coach and then player coach and then commentator, once said, in order to win a championship, and this is in the 90s, you had to have 2 of the top 10 players in the world on your roster. And that was Pippen and Jordan and Magic and Kareem and Worthy and all of that.
Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah. I don't think that Tony...
That's probably the 2 best players.
I don't think that Tony and Manu were top 10 players. Tim always was, but you had 2 of them, not just, so you had 3 guys total, not just 2. And there was a stretch there from the Olympics in 2004 when Argentina won gold through the finals in 2005 when Manu could have easily been the finals MVP, where I think you could make the argument that Manu was a top 10 player.
I was just about to say, I think at different times over the dynasty of the Big Three, there was 2 top 10 players on the Spurs at
different
separate
times.
times.
Yeah.
Like Tony could be considered a
07.
top 10
Yeah.
player at a certain point during that.
That's
run.
correct.
Part of their greatness
same
too
with
is
Manu.
They did it differently, and they did it with not necessarily one guy being the one constant through all of those great teams.
Yeah, and so when you look at this now, I mean, yes, the only things that have accelerated the Spurs timeline are really, really lucky ping pong balls. Like, imagine if the ping pong balls didn't fall their way for Wemby or for Stephon Castle or for Dylan Harper. De'Aaron Fox wouldn't be on this team. KJ would still be playing 35 minutes a game. Devin Vassell would still be playing 40 minutes a game. Like this team would look so much different. And so I think now that the players that are on this team, everyone wants to see, all right, let's win now. But it's still so soon from when they got Wemby, from when they got Stephon Castle, from when they got so lucky that this is already an accelerated timeline.
But you should expect
Right?
it to be
Like-
when you trade for De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
Like the moment he got here, it should be different.
Right, and that's why their win total this year is 43.5 and not 36.5 like it was last year, or 21.5 like it was the year before.
Yeah.
It's going up because the expectations are continuing to rise along with the talent level that the team has. My point is, though, like when we're all saying, is this going to accelerate the timeline? Are they going to start trading everybody for Giannis Antetokounmpo or Kevin Durant or whatever? They're not going to, because this is the accelerated timeline. Their timeline was accelerated by getting number 2 in the draft this year and getting Dylan Harper. Their timeline was accelerated by jumping up to 4 last year and getting Stephon Castle. Now you need to wait for the development.
True.
Now you have to figure out, is KJ part of this team? Is Devin Vassell part of this team? Is Harrison Barnes part of this team? Is Jeremy Sohan part of this team? Is Champagnie part of this team? Are these guys parts long term? I don't know.
That's going to all change based on the salary cap and when you have to pay the young guys and then the big money guys coming off. In other words, Keldon makes nearly $20 million a year and Devin makes 25. Those guys are going to have to come off when it's time to pay Castle, Harper, Wemby.
And you have a couple of years for that.
Right. You have a couple.
You have at
years
least
of
3. I think you have 3 years with Wemby. So,
Right.
One other thing that Wemby said that I thought was interesting is
Wemby could sign a
Yeah.
$300 million extension next summer.
Yep.
Yeah, but that won't kick in until after the
Right,
that
true.
following
He can-
year.
but
So
he
you have
can-
at least 2 years until you have to
Yeah.
pay him $60 million a year.
Yeah.
And by then, Devin will be on like 2 years left on his $25 million deal, and KJ will already be gone. Harrison will already be off the books. Like, you'll have plenty of room.
Yeah.
One other thing that Wemby said that I want to get to is talking about his injury and how if it slowed the timeline or slowed the progress or anything like that. He said, quote, "On the contrary, I think my injury accelerated things. Even if I wouldn't wish it on anyone, the reflections and questioning caused by such an injury can't be bought. I think it's an experience that we'll benefit from in the future." So thought that was pretty interesting as well. Let's get to Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys here before we get out of here. So training camp starts on Sunday. They all show up to Oxnard. Then Jerry has his limelight on Monday.
Certainly.
Before practice starts on Tuesday next week, we will be there. You can get all of our coverage on Fox SA and News 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10, respectively, on those channels.
Don't forget Max Sports.
Yeah, I just said 9 o'clock.
Channels.
Max in the morning, I mean.
How can we forget Max in the morning?
I do every time I fill in for you. I've
Fair.
been yelled
know-
at by Michael Campion
I
more
know
than once.
you won't forget to tell Zach to do Max in the morning.
And that'll be the nicest thing that Zach will do for me all week.
So anyway, ESPN put out a list made up of thoughts from GMs, coaches, and scouts from around the league, ranking the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. You can go ahead and throw that graphic up, Luis. The list goes as follows: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels. 6 is Matt Stafford, then Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, number 10, Baker Mayfield. So notably not on that list is Dak Prescott, who at this time last year was number 10 on the list. Now, he's not even part of the honorable mention. He doesn't get mentioned until the 15th quarterback on that roster or on that list. So, my question for you is, where should Dak be, and is this list correct?
How come you don't have an exclamation point after Jay Hurts instead of a period? Why does he have a punctuation mark?
I would type this in literally 4 minutes.
Jay Hurts, period.
Jay Hurts.
And to show you how slow I am, I didn't even notice it. So.
But
I'm keen because I make very many spelling errors on my graphics.
I know.
Baker shouldn't be on that list. He shouldn't be in top 10.
Baker is. See, that's the question though. But Dak should Dak be anywhere on that list? Is he above any of those players at this point in his career?
I think you could make the argument that he's better than Stafford sometimes. I think you're making the argument he's better than Herbert sometimes. I think
Goff, Hurts, Mayfield.
I don't know. Goff's been pretty good in the last couple of years. You know, when the last healthy Dak season, he was second place in MVP voting. You know, so I mean, I think this is, and I said this morning, Chuck's going to get tired of hearing me say the same thing because we do so many shows together. This is what have you done for me lately? You know, this is based on last year. Jaden Daniels is number 5 already. He's had one really good year. CJ Stroud not being on the list. If that kid, if they'd had this list after his rookie year, he'd probably be in the top 5.
He was top 6.
Yeah. So this is what have you done for me lately? Who cares? These lists are always who cares.
I echo that. And, you know, based on the fact that Dak was hurt most of last year, I mean, how can you blame somebody that's making a list, you know, based on what we just did, to Don's point,
Also,
in the here and the now?
to be fair, when he was healthy, they were 3 and 5. He had 11 to 8 touchdown to interception
too.
ratio. Like he wasn't good.
That's true.
In the first 8 games, he had 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and they were 3 and 5. And he had just signed a $60 million deal literally the morning of their first game, which he played well in. So
I'll go back to 10 years, 2 playoff wins.
I think you could. I did also. Fun fact that I didn't notice until I was typing up this list. How many J's are there just like as first names? Can you throw that back up for me real quick? Jay Allen, Jay Burrow, Jay Daniels, Jay Herbert, Jay Goff, Jay Hurts.
Jackson.
If you include Lamar Jackson, there's 7 out of 10. Dak doesn't have a J in his name, so he can't make this list anyway.
Man, you are seeing the universe through different colored eyes there, my friend. I congratulate you. That's good.
I'm seeing them through my keyboard.
There's as many J's on the quarterbacks as there is Tylers on the Cowboys offensive line.
We need more Tylers on the offensive line. I want all 5 Tylers on the
would you
line.
rather have Matthew Stafford than Dak at this moment?
I don't think so.
I
Let
wouldn't either.
me go through this list. We're not even going to include the top 5 because I think
I like Matthew Stafford's game, but either or.
Okay, how about this? What if I ask the question this way?
Are the Cowboys any better if you switched out Matthew Stafford and put him in
Yes.
instead of Dak?
Yes.
You think so?
I love Matthew Stafford.
Okay. I don't.
Are the Cowboys better if you include Herbert instead of Dak?
Maybe.
Are they better if you have Jared Goff instead of Dak?
Yes.
Are they better if you have Jalen Hurts instead of Dak?
No.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm with Don on that one too.
Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Jalen Hurts is a fine quarterback
because he won a championship.
He's got a very good
And went
product
to
around
another
him
one.
too.
But if you put him on Dallas, he's not as good
Why?
because the talent around him would suck.
There's
doesn't
not that
suck.
much
It's
of a
just
talent
not as
discrepancy
deep.
between the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Oh, my
offense.
God. Yes, there is.
Not
I
right
think
now.
So.
Well, maybe not like this minute, but
Not
last
this
year
second.
there was.
Last year there was.
Offense, but defense too. The defense makes him better.
Jalen
too.
Hurts is better than Dak Prescott.
Okay.
He makes less money too. I'll take that on my team.
I'm going to say you're right because he won a championship, and I go with winners. Championships matter.
Would
Scoreboard.
Baker Mayfield make the Cowboys a better team than Dak Prescott?
No.
I'm not so sure. I like Baker's game too.
I like
like
Baker's
Baker.
swag level.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got the moxie.
Sometimes that matters.
We have confirmation bias, I think, being around Dak so much. I mean, because he brings a whole lot more to the table than just snapping the ball and
The other guys that were
throwing.
the other guys that were mentioned before Dak Prescott was mentioned in this article was C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray, and Brock Purdy.
I'm taking Love and Stroud above Prescott.
I'm not taking either of those players before Dak.
But you're taking Hurts.
Correct.
Huh.
I
Hey,
don't.
we
I
got-
like C.J. Stroud a lot.
We got a good comment in
Yeah.
here from Tony. Tony says, put pressure on Jerry Jones, not Dak. In a football winning sense, Jerry Jones is not a top 10 owner.
You could, yeah.
Depends on what kind of an owner we're talking about.
It depends if we're how far are we going back? 35 years or 25 years?
Who else has a team worth $12 billion and his own Netflix special coming out?
Yes.
That's which I'm super excited for. That's going to be awesome.
Hey, Tony also says something important. He says all these 10 teams have a better running back rotation and a better offensive line.
True.
It's all so true.
Yeah, and I think that's what hurts Stroud, right? I mean, if
He got killed last year.
if I was, because of his age and where he's at in his career and size and all that mobility, it would be hard for me to turn down taking C.J. Stroud on my team.
I think we're all missing the point here. Bo Nix isn't a top 10 quarterback on this list, so obviously it's really messed up.
I saw that you had him somehow find his way onto at least the.
No, he was the last.
Also wrong.
He was the last quarterback mentioned on the article, so he's last on the list.
Okay.
However, he's clearly better than half of the people we've already talked about. Anyway, that's all we got for you today on the Sneakers and Cleats podcast. Remember, download, rate, review, subscribe, get a 5-star rating, tell a friend, tell an enemy. By the time we get here on Monday, it will be football season.
Yes.
Words that can make a grown man cry right there. We'll see you on Monday.